So it's a pleasure to be here. We have a very special position because usually when people want to have some kind of an artistic break and also talk about high-tech and innovation, we can fill both spots. So you're going to have music and you're going to have a talk about high-tech and innovation. Thank you for the introduction. Indeed, first and foremost, I'm a concert pianist. And as a concert pianist, I actually have a performance this coming Saturday in which I had a rehearsal this morning and I had to use all this for the rehearsal. That's actually not planned, but it's a wonderful example to what happens to us. We have to use sheet music, which is printed, in many cases, very large books, because it doesn't pay to have small volumes. I'm only playing one movement out of this entire volume. These are old, falling apart, and they're filled with scribbles that I write when I play with different people. So when we think about what has been happening in the past few years, with recorded music, we used to have vinyl records, then we had CDs, then we moved to MP3s, and everything is now completely digitized. With books, we use more and more electronic book readers. In fact, they sell more books now on Amazon on the electronic format than they do actual paper books. One area that has been completely neglected from the digital revolution is sheet music. Now, it might seem to you a little bit esoteric, but sheet music is something that exists behind any musical number that you hear. And that means that whenever you go to an elevator and you hear music, or you go to a live concert, or you hear in your gym music, or anything, someone has been using sheet music in order to play this. And the sheet music looks like this. So instead of bringing all of this to my concert, it's much nicer to bring this. You can have all my music. It's an iPad, for those who cannot see. So, the problem is that in order to have successful sheet music on an iPad, we need to solve several problems. First of all, the music that we currently have is meant for the printed paper, which is actually bigger than A4. It's a very big size, and when people just use the scans that they have of music and they put it on the iPad, it's too small. So the music needs to be laid out in a different way so it can actually be legible. That's one problem. And then when you solve this problem, you end up with having much less music on the page than you used to have. And that's another problem because something that musicians have to do all the time is turn the pages while they're supposed to be playing. I know it sounds like something which is not very big for a musician, that's horrible. And considering the fact that now on the iPad we're going to have less music per page, we need to solve the problem of turning the pages automatically. Now, I was very excited to hear Dov Moran's lecture before because I'm very honored to work in a company that has two such innovators. Yair Levy, the CEO, who is here, and Evgeny Begelfov, and they both wrote the algorithms that do something that no one has been able to do on computers, which is to follow not polymorphic but polyphonic music, which means music that has more than one line. The problem is very, very simple. When you hear an instrument, let's say a violin or a clarinet or a human voice, you have a lot of frequencies happening at the same time. Every single note that you hear has multiple frequencies on top of it. And when computers try to figure out if they're hearing the clarinet part, or the violin part, or my voice, or your voice, they get mixed up. There are too many frequencies, too many things happening at the same time. And for years, people have been trying to solve this problem. And then these two gentlemen, using very, very sophisticated signal processing and algorithms, have been able to work out a system that allows computers to follow music that is played on the score. And based on that system, they created the company, and the company created this product, this application, that presents music in the best possible way and follows the performance when someone plays the music. So what we're trying to do is use the technology to make the music interactive. So we solved the problem, now we see more of the music. We see actually larger fonts of the music, we see less music per page, and we can have automatic page turns because whenever I play, it follows me. When I get to the end of the page, it turns the page. But at the same time, there are many things that my books cannot do and a computer can do. I can record myself. I can share my playing, my recorded playing with one tap of the device. I can get feedback. The computer knows exactly how fast I play, so it can tell me. It can tell me when I'm playing wrong notes. It can be a real big brother. And we can make this into an educational tool. Let's imagine that I have a student, and students usually come to my lesson, they play very badly, and they say, well, it all worked at home. Well, it worked at home, which is wonderful, but I can't know what they did. So with this device, I can actually monitor the way they practice. In fact, the computer can listen and tell them, listen, you're playing this too fast, you have too many wrong notes, play slower. Or if they play again and again, it only becomes worse, you can say, well, you're not concentrated right now, take a break. So it's a whole new system for practicing music, for learning music, and for playing music, and I would like to show you what we can do. Right now, let's see, this is the way our application looks, and you're going to see the application itself now. This is a piece that I believe you will recognize by Beethoven. It's called For Elise. And what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to play the piece for you. That's going to be your musical interval for today. But I will do several things while I play. First of all, you're going to see a marker that follows every note that I'm playing. And then I will change the speed of my playing, and you will see that it adjusts itself to my speed. Then I will start playing like a real beginner with a lot of wrong notes. That's of course because I didn't practice the piece properly. And you will see that it can actually disregard the noise. And then I'm going to ask here to give you a sign. When it does like this, I'm asking all of you to start applauding and making noise and see that it still follows my playing. So we're going to do all of this now. Let's see how this works. Just a minute. Can we have more volume here? And now back to the presentation. What we're doing right now We give the application for free. It's been out in the App Store for the iPad for over a year now. And it's been downloaded over 170,000 times. We have rave reviews. It's been App of the Week in most countries several times. And we sell the music. The idea is very simple. Sheet music is facing right now what recorded music was facing at the end of the 90s. People were trading it online, they were stealing the music, and then came iTunes, and suddenly it became very convenient to pay $1 for your favorite songs and just get them very simply in one place. Now, what we have music students and musicians do right now is download music from the internet, photocopy in libraries, and what we're trying to do is simply compete with the price it costs to print illegal music. So we think about the cost of paper, the cost of photocopy, the cost of ink. We add a little premium for the features that we give them, and consequently we can bring back all the people who are using illegal music to the fold. So we have an in-app store. People can buy, it's very much like the iTunes store, they can buy their music, and we are signing deals. We already have deals with Hal Leonard, which is the world's biggest publisher of sheet music. We have, it's not only classical music, we have soundtracks and music of all genres, popular music. And we're signing deals with additional publishers, classical and popular as well. And that's the way we intend to try and get into that market. Another thing that we let the musicians do is also annotate their scores. So essentially, you can perform, you can teach, you can work, you can rehearse, you can do everything simply with this device. Thank you very much for listening.